Next question.
Oops.
Hi.
Hi.
Does your badge say FBI?
It does.
It's awesome.
Olivia's specialty. Yes. My question is for the writers. I was wondering if you guys had or have ever talked about or had any thoughts, maybe if you guys do a new season, to bring Charlie back.
We have talked about it. Look, Kirk Acevedo is spectacular. He was on a different television show this season, Prime Suspect, which unfortunately is no longer around. And we have talked about bringing Charlie back. He's wonderful, and at the moment there's no plans to, but that doesn't mean we're not open to it.
Yay.
Is that because you don't want him on, just in case we're thinking about it again?
Yeah.
Alright, so along the similar lines, since Peter has been taken out of the timeline, will we see flashbacks or more of William Bell maybe this season or next?
As the great Leonard Nimoy has said several times, he's retired, but that doesn't mean that we're not constantly knocking on his door and sending cookies and sending messages.
How about now?
Come on, how about now? Josh is going straight from here to Leonard's house.
Do some yard work.
Exactly. Yeah, to mow the lawn.
Jay-Z retired too, right?
Yeah. Jay-Z retired, and Jay-Z is actually living with Leonard Nimoy, and they're doing both of their yards.
You worked around
Jay-Z
it.
is, you never see him in the same room at the same time. I'm just saying, Jay-Z is Leonard Nimoy.
You got him on once after his retirement, though, via the animated episode. Yeah.
That's what we did. We had his voice, and that sort of he was in the picture.
Yeah.
And this time we'll do this. It would be incredible. He's a sensational performer. We're just is what it is.
Apparently Josh's yard work isn't quite up to snuff.
We'll see if Josh can convince him in some way.
I let the roses die. He was not.
Next question.
My question's kind of along the same lines, but with everything that's happened with the observers this season, are you guys going to do more past flashbacks with like young Alternate and young Nina and like rewriting everything in the different universes?
John, what would young Walter be like?
Oh, we met him.
Yeah.
No, I mean earlier than that. I mean like 20-year-old Walter. What was he doing?
Well, he was a student.
A lot of drugs.
He was taking too many drugs. He was brilliant, and he was listening to the great
dating
dating.
Nina. He's dating Nina, that's what he's doing.
And he was going out with Diana Ross. And Astrid.
Oh.
Their love child.
So to answer your question, we now know what the flashback is going to be. It's going to be about Walter and Diana Ross and their love child.
Creepier than any Fringe teaser.
You guys just gave away season 5.
This stuff writes itself.
Yeah.
Next question.
Hi, this is mainly for the cast. You guys have been doing this for 4 years now, and especially Josh, your character doesn't have a world without yourself. How do you keep these relationships fresh and your character fresh over 4 years?
What was the middle portion of the question? A character doesn't have a what?
Your character is still the same, where everyone else got.
Oh, it has the
right?
double.
So how do you keep your characters so fresh and the relationships with the tension?
Well, for this year, we all were in the same spot, regardless of doppelgangers or not. That even though Peter has all the memories and he carries all the baggage of those relationships, he doesn't know any of these people. And expand that out to his Olivia's. So he has to. So all of those relationships become fresh again. I mean, that's the fun of Fringe's particular kink in the sci-fi world, is that we just completely wipe our slate clean all the time. And as actors, I think that's a ton of fun because it gives us the ability, if we so desire, to build out new relationships on a near constant basis.
In general, how much do Jeff and JH tell you guys about coming down the pipeline? Do they give you much heads up, or is it just here's the script, go?
I've heard more about what's happening, yeah, exactly, on this show in the last 10 minutes than I have in the last
That's how we keep them fresh.
Wait a minute, Diana Ross is my mother? Astrid's my sister?
It explains a lot, doesn't it? Have any of you heard him sing?
Very good.
Would you like to?
You're not pointing at me, Jack.
No, we are. You just said that Diana Ross is your mom.
Mother.
Oh,
You inherited her singing voice.
that's not true. I did not.
Yeah, it was her height. Her height said that.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, now that I know Astrid is my sister by Diana Ross, I always sort of thought Peter and Astrid in the first season. I thought that's where we were going. But apparently now that we're blood relations, that's off the table. It's frowned upon. Even on Fringe, that's too far.
Jeff and John, I'm really interested. I want to know what all the other characters were doing when they were that age too.
Well, tell us.
Yeah. But I think
There should be, you should write a comic about your character at young age. Who would buy that? Who would buy that? Write a comic. And,
There is an episode.
I'm genuinely interested in
Yeah.
having come up with that thought.
spin-off.
There is an episode coming up where the Lincolns have a conversation about their history, and they're trying to figure out where they became different people. And to me, that was really fascinating to actually get solid facts about how each of them grew up and how they lived their lives in these alternate places.
We cut that scene. I'm teasing.
It'll be on my reel.
There's a lovely young
Next
woman
question.
waiting.
Hi, my question is for John. I was just wondering how you balance between Walter's quirks and comic relief, but also giving him an edge of gravity and making him fully human.
Okay. She said, how do you balance out Walter's quirks and still fully human character?
Great question.
Yeah.
Cute. Okay, so I'm trying to give a serious answer. In the approach of an actor to a character, you do your first work, you build up this framework upon which you're going to play this character out. You do a lot of work at the beginning. And so to do different versions of him really uses the same framework and then just changes one aspect of it. So alternate is different because he had a son stolen and the other one stole the son. You change one thing, you change the character. You make them older and you change the way they think, the way their values in life, what they've learned. So there's just a whole series of things you can put into that framework to help you do it. So you do too.
It's a good idea. There's
It starts with good preparation in the beginning, though. I think done that, the question sort of falls into place. Most instinctive, natural.
But your question actually goes to what's so wonderful about John and his performance is that the character was designed to be mentally damaged, to have been, shockingly brilliant, to be drug-addled. And John has formed this full... The reason those Walterisms work is because he's not delivering any of them trying to be funny.
Yeah.
He's delivering them all from that's just who the character is. If any of them were delivered to be laugh lines, they wouldn't be funny. And it's no small challenge. And again, John is Walter, so it's actually...
Where did the idea for Walter's food obsession come from? Where did the idea for Walter's food obsession come from?
I think it just sort of it grew organically in that a lot of it was actually just sugar. It's just
Sweetness.
It's just a thing with the sweets and sugar and sort of like
It started to become it started to have a gene.
It's always been.
It's been a thing. It kind of makes sense to me that you have that need for instant gratification. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Obviously we've played it long now to become seasons, but it didn't surprise me at all that he was always doing it. I'd do that. In the middle of the night, he was searching. My daughter calls it Midnight John. And he goes around and he throws his things.
Next question.
Okay. My name is Alina, and before I ask my question, I just want to quickly say, Seth, you are an amazing addition to the show, so please don't worry. You blew me away in the last episode. John, I can't even put into words how sensational you are on the show. Josh, I love you. You're perfect, and I love that. Joel, I can't wait to see this next episode because it already looks really great. And Jeff, just thank you for being one of the people who has made this fantastic show. Every single episode is amazing, and I adore you all.
You're hired.
We're not paying you enough.
So my question is, I'm really worried about Olivia's fate on the show. And I know you probably can't give away much, but I just want to ask in case, is she going to be okay?
That was so sincere.
It's lovely.
Will she be okay? We hope so. We're worried too. But Anna, who is not here, is unbelievably awesome, and the performance. Joel and I, we wrote the first episode, and it was sort of like when we got the dailies back, we were like, oh God, look what she's doing. She's reinvented this character as well. And it wasn't really on the page, but it was, it was there, and she started fresh from ground zero, and we wouldn't be here, all of us at this point, though she's not here, if she weren't so awesome. So yes, we're worried about her too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, next question.
This is for everyone. If you were an observer, what event in history would you go back to and observe or change?
If you were an observer, what event would you go back in history?
Alone, man. She's gonna get a cease and desist.
Blair?
No, sorry. I'm still trying to figure out what this Diana Ross thing is.
She's confused because she thought it was you. I'd like to go back to being at university with you. Because we've talked in our preparation about what fun we had together. I wouldn't actually mind going back to the 60s.
Clearly you spent too much time there the first time around.
Very funny. I'd like to go back to the 60s.
Anything you could change. There you go.
Oh, it's just how we change something?
Yeah.
Oh.
But the observers aren't supposed to change anything. Look what happened last time.
Question with Jackson?
Speaking of the observers, can we assume September is really dead? Or it's the observers, we don't really understand everything about them, so...
Is anybody ever really dead on Fringe? We joke about it on set all the time, that the best way to get guaranteed to get brought back is if they kill you. A good death, it's true. A noble death.
Is that what you've said?
Yes.
Behind our backs?
Yes. Congratulations, you're dying.
Okay, you were chopped in half.
Good. Yours was really gruesome. We're totally bringing you back.
So unfair. Is the observer?
September, watch the next episode.
Yeah.
I guess. And by the way, I can say it because I'm his partner. Joel did a spectacular job directing this episode. I think they all took great care of him and really stepped up. And this is an episode that you don't want to miss if you're a shipper. A term we did not have. If you're a shipper of good entertainment, or if you're a shipper of any of the products that sponsor our show, it's a good episode. Watch it live.
I feel like you guys have found a great workaround for if you get the characters together, you lose the tension because there's like 20 different versions of getting together with Olivia that have happened so far.
Yeah, sort of. Well, I can't say it's rude, but I think my boy just needs to make up his mind. It's just time. Enough with the waffle. I mean, really, with a bottle of L'Oreal, she's Olivia anyway.
Next question.
Stop. You're mine. You're not mine. I love you. I can't have you. We need to be together.
apparently the parenting wasn't quite good enough.
I'm just saying, I love this show. This thing's one of the greatest shows of all time.
You guys, one of the greatest shows of all time.
I think you guys have made this such a cerebral and just mind-blowing show that every episode I get an answer and then 2 more questions, and there's this question after question. I just get lost in it all. And so it's kind of a 2-part question. First, what was the inspiration for all this? I mean, it's insane. It's just nuts. And then the second part is, Joshua, I know you're in Dawson's Creek, so...
That was actually the inspiration for Fringe.
Season 3, episode 7.
Yeah, JJ was watching the Dawson's way back when he was like, you know what this guy needs to do?
And so, how do you go
Josh
from
wrote a
Dawson's,
letter.
how do you go from Dawson's Creek to Fringe and Peter?
You take about 5 years off in between. I don't know, there's not really a direct line. I mean, each character is its own thing, and each job presents its own challenges and rewards. I don't know that you can draw a direct line between anything Dawson's Creek and Fringe. There are humans in both. I think the similarities are pretty thin. I guess that the relationship thing happens at the end of the day. And he couldn't make up his fucking mind either, so... You know what? There it is. That's what it is. That's the inspiration. They're like, if this guy's
Inspiration for Fringe was let's put John in another situation where he can't choose between 2 perfect women.
That's how it was. This kid can waffle.
You got good waffle, kids. You're gonna be all right in this
Waffles
business.
like nobody's business.
On the other hand,
In the show, I think JJ found a very ancient scroll with the whole thing. It was,
JJ is the first people.
yeah, it was another great beginning of something that became something and just kept working on it. Thank you so much for saying that. Why don't we want to please? It's so sweet for you to even say that.
Hi guys, thanks for the great show. And, it's been mentioned many times that in Fringe, with all the different universes and timelines, there's only one version of Peter. And this can go to anyone, but the question is, if there were an alternate version of Peter, how would you like to see him portrayed?
For the female fans. For the female fans, barely clothed.
Well, you know, honestly, if I may toot my own horn slightly, we did a little bit of the alternate version of Peter at the end of 23-21, when the world is coming to an end and he gets conked on the head. That to me that's the only, I mean, I only got 6 scenes to do it, but that was what alternate Peter was. When he goes into that really sweet, innocent 5-year-old place and he's totally incapable of doing anything, because the one thing I do like about Peter is he's capable of doing anything. So that's alter Peter. Or he's in a bubble because he never got cured.
But that guy was good at making a choice at least.
He wasn't a waffle.
It was not a waffle, that's why we didn't bring him back.
I don't know if you guys read...
And the show would have been 1 episode. Let's go.
I don't know if you guys have read Beyond the Fringe, the comic that Josh wrote, but I read it yesterday and it's incredible. And I think the version of Peter in that, it's a more macroscopic view of the character overall in terms of the show, and I think that's an alternate version of Peter that I think, it goes with the show, it's not literally an alt, but it gives you perspective into that character that goes way beyond the show and at the same time totally works within the show, and I think it's absolutely incredible. If you haven't read it, definitely go and read it.
Next question, please.
Hi, I have a friend, and he always would watch the show after I did because I had to preview it beforehand to make sure that it wasn't too ucky, for him. And I was wondering, when you guys were, especially when you were first starting out, did you have to fight with the powers that be at all to kind of get some of this stuff on the screen? And could you maybe just sort of describe some of how that happened?
I think that what's really interesting for us, and it's been ongoing and constant is the network and the studio, they have a different set of expectations for what a television show should be, understandably, because their job is constantly to make it really palatable to a vast audience and to keep it as simple as possible. And it's our job to make it as complicated as but the constant is for us was that it always had to have heart, and it had to be about something, and it had to be able to induce the kind of passion that you all have shown. And so I think that it's and these guys, if they do anything, even all the different versions of the characters they're creating, it's all out of like heart and soul, and hopefully about something. And it's the thing that, it's the bell that Joel constantly brings, which is what's the theme, what's the theme, what's the theme, what's this going to be about? And so at the beginning of this season, imagine going into a network and studio and saying, okay, we've just erased from the show one of the main characters, and now he's coming back to a new timeline, and they say, wait, what? And we had 3 seasons of really good, capital and goodwill of being able to tell this crazy stuff, and then we walk in and go, okay, we're going to be crazy again, and their job is to say no, and to it just is, and it's not that they don't love us or love the stories we're telling, but their job is, wait, you want to make it even more complicated? And the truth is, if it weren't for these guys' abilities to keep the narrative going and to maintain the heart, there would be no show.
Was there an element of that you like the gross stuff? Like, okay, because that also still, it's a mystery to us, because we can write, man's head explodes, goes all over old lady in bus, and she goes, oh my god, then turns into a monster and eats the person next to her. But you can't say Howard Johnson's. So,
And you definitely can't show Howard Johnson.
we don't know.
We actually have,
We're on Chrissy's Fox. We're allowed to show Howard Johnson. We're just not allowed to.
You can have the guy explode onto the granny, but you can't have the granny naked. It's
That's
weird.
the thing. So it's very tricky for us, and sometimes we're really scratching our heads when they send us back a kick back a page. We're like, really? Like you just last week, and now this.
Heads explode, but we can't say the word jump.
I don't know. We don't know the rules.
All right, this is the final question.
Was Peter always supposed to be with our Olivia, or was that only after the Observer messed up and he distracted Walter in the lab?
I'm sorry, what was the beginning of the question?
Sorry.
The mic cut out.
Was Peter always supposed to be with our Olivia before the Observer?
Do you believe in fate?
Yes.
Before we go, Josh, I know you have a special announcement here.
Indeed I do. It's a little dark, but pull out those raffle tickets that you have. If you have a number in... Oh, look at that, house lights.
Wait, is this going to
Oh, the power. I'm on a roll. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, this is about who gets to shave my head.
Oh my gosh.
God, I'm so tempted to go shave my head. You said it.
I didn't say it.
I don't want to make you guys liars. I'm just saying you said shave your head. So, if you have raffle tickets within these numbers, 974057 to
Sorry.
congratulations to 974106. I will be seeing you to do a signing of that Beyond the Fringe comic book in the hall. Where is it? At the DC booth right now, if you want to join.